Hello there, very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News on TV1. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Tharusha Kumar Singh, and here are your headlines.
Kabir Hashim and MHA Halim, who resigned from ministerial positions, sworn in once again. Cabinet approves proposal to ban import of chainsaws to Sri Lanka. Case at permanent High Court trial at bar against Gotabaya Rajapaksa postponed as Rajapaksa needs 6 weeks treatment following heart surgery. STF arrests drug peddler from Katubadda with 1.12 kilograms of heroin valued at over 7 million rupees. UN calls for prompt and thorough probe into Morsi's death.
On to your lead story this afternoon, a collision between a van and a hand tractor on the Batiklo-Valikanda road left 5 people dead and another dozen injured.
The victims were a group who were returning home in the tractor after witnessing the annual Posun Perahara at the Dibulagala Aranya Senasanaya. 17 people were travelling in the tractor and 4 people were inside the van at the time of the accident. Police said the van attempted to overtake the tractor, however the driver lost control and crashed onto the tractor. 5 people who were travelling in the tractor died in the accident and a dozen people were admitted to the Polonnaruwa Base Hospital. The driver of the van was arrested and will be produced before the Polonnaruwa Magistrates Court.
As mentioned in your headlines, 2 ministers who recently resigned from their ministerial portfolios once again were sworn in as ministers.
Kabir Hashim and MHA Halim, who recently resigned from their ministerial positions, were once again sworn in as ministers in the presence of President Maithripala Sirisena. Kabir Hashim was the Minister of Highways and Road Development and Petroleum Resources Development, and MHA Halim was the Minister of Postal Services and Muslim Religious Affairs.
The special committee appointed to look into the April 21st attacks will convene at 2 p.m. today. The Parliament will convene at 1 p.m. Stay tuned with News First as we will bring you the very latest in these developments. In your headline-making news, Police Special Task Force arrested a suspect in Katubadda for transporting heroin.
The 28-year-old suspect was transporting 1.127 kilograms of heroin. The street value of the heroin was 7 million rupees. The suspect is a resident of Madapatha Piliyandala. The Police Narcotics Bureau said it believes the heroin to belong to notorious drug peddler Anju.
It was reported to us that the Mantalav area of the Somavati National Park in Polonnaruwa is being destroyed.
Our correspondent said that a number of farmers had used over 1.5 acres of land for cultivation without obtaining approval. Residents of the area said that these farmers are now to build a canal through the said land by imposing much harm to the environment. The Viharadipati of the Polonnaruwa Sri Shakyaramaya and a group of other Theras arrived in the location to witness the destruction. They charged that steps have not been taken, although the authorities have been informed in this regard. In a high secured zone like this, were the state authorities sleeping when the bulldozers were brought here?
Headline making news now. Cabinet approval was granted to ban the importation of chainsaws following the proposal put forward by President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday. The President had put forward the proposal in his capacity as the Environment Minister.
According to the Government Information Department, and Imports and Exports Control Act No. 1 of 1969 will be amended. It was observed chainsaws were widely used in the illegal felling of trees, and there are more than 82,000 registered chainsaws in the country. The Government Information Department said the use of such chainsaws is a threat to the government's plan to increase the total forest density in the country to 32% by 2030.
Now, the opposition responded to the questions raised by journalists at an event held in Colombo today.
නොයෙක් අය නොයෙක් විදියට කියනවා. එහෙමත් කියනවා.
Being on the subject, the recording of evidence in the case filed against former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Permanent High Court trial at Ba was moved to the 26th of July following a request made by the President's Counsel, Ali Sabri, appearing for Rajapaksa.
The President's Counsel informed court his client Gotabaya Rajapaksa underwent a heart surgery on the 31st of May in Singapore and left the hospital on the 9th of June. He requested court to postpone the recording of evidence as the former Defence Secretary is required to have 6 weeks as a recovery period following the surgery. The Permanent High Court trial at Ba, taking the matter into consideration, decided to postpone the recording of evidence to the 26th of July and extended it to the 24th of July, the period granted for him to remain overseas. 4 witnesses from the prosecution were present in court today and they were ordered to be present in court on the 26th of July. In addition, the Permanent High Court trial at Ba ordered for summons to be served on the 9th witness in the case to appear before court. The case was filed against Gotabaya Rajapaksa and 6 others for the misappropriation of 33.9 million rupees of public funds for the construction of the D.A. Rajapaksa Memorial and Museum in Mandamulana. President's Counsel Ali Sabri further requested the court to keep Gotabaya Rajapaksa's medical records safe in the custody of the Judicial Registrar. The court issued an order granting permission to the request.
On to political news this afternoon. Following are the views expressed by the National People's Board at a media briefing held in Colombo yesterday.
Keeping all this aside, the Prime Minister is going to purchase a bulletproof vehicle for the opposition leader. We saw how a supplementary estimate has been presented to purchase a car amidst all these issues. We told this again and again. This romance has been happening for a long time, but this romance will not work out. One cannot live without the other. It's like they're the two sides of a coin. This is nothing but toying with the country. This is an attempt by Ranil Wickremesinghe to go back to the opposition and become the opposition leader again and retain the party leadership. So may God bless the UNP. Therefore, the UNP should be attentive towards what's happening here. If not, the UNP will remain in the opposition for another 50 years. They will not be able to lift their head.
More than 440,000 people living in the north and the east have been affected by the prevailing dry condition in the areas. This is a special report filed by Newsfirst.
Newsfirst team travelled in the Vaunatiu, Ettan Kate and Unnachai areas in the Batticaloa district. People living in those areas were severely inconvenienced by the lack of clean drinking water in the area. Farming is the main livelihood of the people living here. These farmers have no water for agriculture and no water to even quench their thirst.
This is the Unnechikulam Vaver that is located in Batticaloa. This Vaver provides drinking water for the whole Batticaloa district. That pipeline that you see over there is the pipeline that carries water from this particular tank to the whole of Batticaloa district. Now, according to the irrigation department officials who are stationed here, there should be water up to 33 feet in this particular area. However, currently there is only 8 feet of water. They say if rain falls in the coming few days, they will be able to provide water for drinking and agriculture. However, if that is not the case, they too will find it difficult to release water from this tank for both agricultural and drinking water purposes. That is the situation here in the Batticaloa district as a result of the drought.